Hello, I'm Sandy Arnett. On this edition of Commuter Connections, we'll take a look at MTA locally operated transit systems, or LOTS. We'll pay a visit to the MTA Transit Store in downtown Baltimore. We'll show you how to get to this year's African American Festival. Our sister agency, MVA, recently launched a new secure license. We'll show you, and an app designed to help fight drunk driving, all here on this edition of Commuter Connections. Welcome to Commuter Connections. Many of us see MTA transit vehicles and train services on the streets, roads, and rails here in the Baltimore region. But MTA's reach goes far beyond Baltimore to points as far as Western Maryland and even the Eastern Shore. These distant services are administered through MTA's locally operated transit systems, or LOTS programs. And MTA Director of Local Transit Support, Beth Kreider, joined us recently to talk about these services. Welcome, Beth. Thank you for coming and joining us on the show.
Thank you, Sandy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now tell us, what exactly is the locally operated transit system, or LOTS?
Locally operated transit systems are local services, bus services that are operated in each one of Maryland's jurisdictions, as well as a number of the municipalities, cities throughout the state.
How exactly does the LOTS program differ from MTA's core services?
Well, MTA offers not only bus service, but also rail service, metro, light rail. The local systems are strictly bus services. And I always like to say they have the same challenges and the same obstacles that a larger agency like MTA has, but just on a very different scale. They have fewer resources where we have, a number of people doing one job. They have one person sometimes doing 5 or 6 jobs.
Oh, wow.
So it's the same type of service, same type of issues, just on a different level.
So roughly how many people take advantage of the LOTS program in Maryland?
Goodness, across the state, the locally operated transit systems collectively provide more than 39 million trips a year.
That's quite significant.
Yeah, it really is when you think about it. Ocean City provides over 3 million trips a year, just during the summer months, just to give you an example.
I can imagine. So with the service available in Maryland, would you say all of the counties have a LOTS program in place?
Yeah, they do. In fact, some of them work in partnership with each other to provide the service, but every county has locally operated transit service, as do a couple of the municipalities like Ocean City or the city of Annapolis, even Baltimore City. Their Charm City Circulator is one of our local systems.
So you mentioned the funding. How much funding do we provide to the LOTS program each year?
It really varies a little bit based on the capital projects that the jurisdictions are doing, but it ranges between $110 and $140 million a year.
And what do they use that for? Is it to physically buy the buses, or is it for other things as well?
We provide operating assistance, so to help offset the cost of actually operating the service in the jurisdictions, as well as the capital. So it could be buses, or it could be improvements to their facilities to better maintain the equipment. Okay. Even things like cameras on their buses, or tires, preventive maintenance, that's all funded through our programs too.
Okay. And this is funding that you said they would get, this is annual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are grants that they receive annually to help support their services.
Okay. So what has been their reception as far as, working in partnership with the MTA? How's that been received?
I always say that there are 3 things that my office is responsible for, and that's the first one they love, funding, technical assistance, which really helps them to develop their products and support their needs. And then the dreaded part is the oversight. So when we bring the checkbook, they're very happy. But it truly is a partnership, because the state doesn't provide all of the funding. It's done through a partnership with the local jurisdictions. So the locally operated transit systems receive funding through their local governments to support the needs.
And you mentioned the oversight. What does some of that include?
Oversight, we really walk in the shoes of the FTA. We're responsible for making sure that they adhere to all of the federal requirements and the state requirements. It could be anything from making sure that they are providing ADA service,
Okay.
or it could mean that they are using the funds according to the federal requirements, things like that.
Okay. So are there any plans to expand the LOTS program in Maryland?
Not really, because every jurisdiction already has a local system. Where you may see some modifications to the programs is where we provide, as part of technical assistance, transit development plans, and we work in partnership to lay out a 5-year plan. So there could be modifications that come out as a result of that to either improve or enhance the service. Where I think you'll see, different things every year is really on the capital side. Okay. We know that we're going to be, we'll have a new contract in place for buses, and so we'll be helping to fulfill bus needs across the state to improve the state of good repairs and their equipment, things like that in the near future.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. So if anyone wants additional information about MTA's LOTS program, where can they go to find it?
Well, different ways that they can access information. All of the local jurisdictions are part of Google Transit. Okay. So if you're looking for routing information, I would suggest that someone try Google Transit to try and plan their trip. Or they can go onto the MTA website, and under Office of Local Transit Support, there's a map with links to the contacts in each of the local jurisdictions who could provide specific information about their programs. Or through our office here at MTA.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again. This was great information for our viewers. I appreciate you coming on and joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Coming up next, MTA has your best ride to one of our region's largest events. It's the African American Festival. That's just ahead. Each year, tens of thousands of people descend on Baltimore for the excitement and fun of one of our region's largest events. It's the African American Festival. Shalonda Stokes of the festival joins us with information on this year's event and how to get there. Welcome to the show, Shalonda. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Sandy. It's great to be here.
So tell me now, when is the African American Festival and where is it going to be held this year?
The African American Festival takes place July 2nd and 3rd this year, so it's over the 4th of July weekend, and it's taking place at the Camden Yards Sports and Entertainment Complex, so that's in between M&T Bank Stadium and our baseball stadium.
Okay. Now I know location is important, so how important was it to have the festival staged downtown, particularly near Camden Yards?
It's very important to have it staged downtown, particularly because of our economic impact. We found out over the past, I think, 5 or 6 years that we have a large portion of people that's coming from out of the area, and so they're riding the MTA and different transportation to get here. They're coming down 95, and so having a location downtown makes it very accessible for people to come.
So tell me, what are some of the best ways to get to the festival?
Well, what's so great about the audience this year is we found out they're coming from all over. So for people coming from the West Coast and all other points, they can definitely catch a plane and then they can light rail from the airport to the festival. And then for people that are here from points north and south, I mean, we have from Hunt Valley, and everywhere else they can catch the light rail in. Okay. Or the Metro. I'm out in Owings Mills, you can do some things in Metro down, and then there's always the bus service. So there's no reason that people should not be able to. Right, they should not be able to get there. And we have, in terms of parking, we have it, but it's much easier if people ride the Metro.
Right, and then they don't have to fool with that.
Absolutely.
So what is the cost for the festival this year, and what are some things that people can expect to see and experience?
The amazing thing about this festival, and Mayor Rawlings Blake wanted to make sure it remained true, is this festival is absolutely free for people to come. And so you get the likes of Common, and Mary, and Angie Stone, and Joe Guapale, Ro James, Anthony Brown, and Group Therapy, hosted by Vivica Fox and Jonathan Slocum, and you get that all for $0. Yeah, right? So it's an amazing event, and we continue to keep it free. The city wants to make sure that this remains a staple for Baltimore City.
Wow, that's awesome. So how long has the festival existed?
It's a phenomenal question this year, because this year we're actually celebrating 40 years. So 40 years in
congratulations.
Baltimore, as you know, it's had a number of names. Some people still call it AfRam or the Heritage Festival and all of these things, but the African American Festival has really been a staple in our community, bringing not only the talent that I mentioned, but also just dynamic experiences. And so this year we have some more amazing things that we're bringing to the footprint with Brown Girl Village and STEM Nation. We have a beauty bar, we have an empowerment zone, and then have some really great things, I think, that really respond to what's happening to Baltimore overall.
So are these events for all ages?
We have
A lot of young people are encouraged to attend as well.
Absolutely. It's a family event that's a part in our theme. And so everything from a kids zone with rides and games all the way through a community connections piece that we're doing with the Baltimore City Police Department and the community overall, where they're going to do some fun games together through, some things, those conversations for the adults and the entertainers and stuff like that.
Okay, that's great. So how many people does this event normally attract each year?
We get hundreds and thousands of people over 2 days. So this is probably the largest free cultural festival on the East Coast. And what really is exciting, especially for our sponsors and partners, is that people come out and they really want to engage.
Okay, and you'll have vendors? Tell us about some of the vendors that'll be there.
Well, you have to start with the food. Now,
of course.
You have to start with the food. One of the things that we have that's new to the festival this year is a culture village. And so in addition to dynamic entertainment and experiences that really highlight our culture, it's food from across the globe as well. So we have, the food at this festival is amazing. So for everybody, if you fast before you come, make sure that you can do that. Absolutely.
Okay. So tell us, what are the hours for the festival over the 2 days?
The festival takes place on Saturday. We open at noon and we close at 10 p.m. And on Sunday, we open at noon and we close at 9 p.m. And it's non-stop entertainment all day. So we want them to get there early. We have some amazing sponsor activations. Something like this wouldn't be possible without our sponsors. Visit Baltimore. We have Under Armour, Comcast, Xfinity. We have Music Choice, Care First, Colgate, and we have the Army doing an amazing activation, and of course the MTA. And so we really want people to come out because our sponsors have, with their activations, it's some things that they won't want to miss.
That sounds awesome. Well, I am glad that you were here to tell us a little bit about this. And if people want more information, where can they find it?
They can find us on the web at africanamericanfestival.net. And then we also have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a Twitter page, all at Be More AAF. So they can do that, and then they can always call our office if they're not online, which I don't know anybody who's not online, but if they're not, they can call our office at 410-244-8861.
Okay, Shalonda, thank you again, and good luck with the festival this year.
Thank you so much.
MTA's focus is to provide world-class customer service each and every day throughout its various points of customer contact. That includes the MTA Transit Store, where hundreds of MTA customers visit for transit products and services to assist them in their commutes. I recently met with the manager of the store for a look at its part in transit and customer service. Welcome to Commuter Connections.
Thank you so much.
Now tell me, where exactly is the MTA Transit Store located, and what are some of the products that customers can buy here?
Well, we're centrally located in downtown Baltimore, right on the corner of Baltimore and St. Paul Street. You'll enter the William Donald Schaefer building that's located 6 St. Paul Street. And you're coming in on the lobby level. That's where you'll find the transit store, where you can purchase a litany of our pass products, whether it's monthly pass, weekly passes. You can also purchase your Charm Card, which is our smart card feature for our customers.
And what days of the week is the transit store open, and what are your hours of operation?
Well, we're open Monday through Fridays from 8:30 to 4:30. However, during the pass sales period, we're open from 8 to 4 Monday through Fridays.
And roughly how many people would you say you serve on a daily basis?
Hey, we have hundreds of people coming into the transit store.
That's quite a few.
Depending on the pass sales period, if we're selling our monthly passes, that volume will greatly increase.
Oh, okay. So now, are there other ways that people can get their transit passes? Is it just by coming to the store, or can they go online?
Well, sure. You can always go online at www.mta.maryland.gov and click onto our site to purchase our pass products. We also have a litany of other consignment contract vendors who sell our products as well. For an example, Lexington Market East. You can just walk in Lexington Market East, you can purchase your pass there.
Okay. Is it a similar setup to what you have at 6 St. Paul Street?
Yes, very similar in that they sell the same products during the same period. And if I'm not mistaken, even a charm card features there as well.
Oh, okay, awesome. So roughly how many employees does it work in the transit store?
Well, the transit store, we have 3 windows for our clerks, and they deal with the daily transactions of past sales. We also have 2 accounting clerks. They deal with the accounting part of what we do, the reconciliation of each deposit. We also have one of the accounting clerks who deal with all of the online orders for the various types of passes that we sell. And we have a senior clerk. He deals specifically with all of our consignment vendors, managing that and making sure that they get their products in a timely manner.
And with the customer, customers at the county, it's cash, credit, however they want to pay. They have options.
Sure, there's options: cash, credit, checks.
Okay.
Yes.
So you do take personal checks?
Sure, we do.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, what would you say, is one of the biggest challenges of running the transit store?
Well, the challenge is a great challenge because it's a part of our mission. As you know, MTA's mission is to provide world-class customer service. I get to see that daily. The clerks will come from behind the window. They're willing to go into the metro system or bus to help a customer with an issue pertaining to his charm card, which is our smart card, as well as any issues that they may have with their passes.
Okay, and that's going above and beyond, so that's nice that they're willing to do that.
Oh, yes, that's very good. I'm very happy about that.
So it sounds like you have an excellent team. But tell me, how have customers, how do they receive that?
Well, what we've been able to do is cultivate some great relationships with the public. We believe that it's all about relationships. So as I said before, they'll come from behind the counter, they'll provide customer service. It's been really a great response, not only for our customers, but for us as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much. So if someone wants information again on the transit store, how can they find out?
Certainly, they can go to our website again, www.mta.maryland.gov. Click on the Pass Store link, and there you'll find a wide variety of products that we're selling to the public daily.
That's great. Henry, thank you so much for joining. This is great information for our viewers.
Thank you.
Just ahead, a look at a new and more secure driver's license our sister agency, MVA, is introducing to assist Marylanders in the fight against fraud. That's next. Stay with us. In an effort to fight identification fraud, our sister agency, MVA, is introducing a new, more secure state driver's license, which Marylanders will begin to be issued this month. I recently spoke with MVA Administrator Chrissy Nizer about the new license at MVA's official unveiling. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having me.
So now tell me, why are we getting new driver's license, ID cards, and learner's permits in Maryland?
Well, our car was last designed in 2003, so clearly it was time to move forward and enhance our security of our license. We care about the personal information of our customers, and frankly, our current card was just too easy to duplicate, so we needed to create a more secure product for Maryland residents.
Okay, so what, how did this all get started? I mean, because, it seems like it's been a while since we've actually had the cards updated. What prompted the state to take action now?
Sure. Well, we heard feedback from law enforcement as well as many of our partners that the cards were being duplicated, and we were seeing versions out on the street that were a pretty good semblance of what our card looks like. So we knew it was time. We put out a request for proposal, got back several responses, and we chose the most competitive one and sought about to design the license.
Tell me, what are some of the features of the new card?
So it's a polycarbonate card, which just basically means it's much more durable and much harder for anybody to take it and duplicate it. It's also laser engraved, which means normally printing is on the surface of the card, but this is actually embedded within the card itself, making it difficult to change any information that's on the card.
Okay, and what is the cost? What are we talking about as far as, what would the cost of this be for the MBA or for the state?
The great news is the cost for the customer remains the same as it is today. We've been able to implement this new, much more secure card for the exact same price, so no increase in fees whatsoever.
Oh, that's great. That's great news.
Yes.
So if I am in the process of getting a new card, I want the new secure card, driver's license. Tell me, what's the process that I would need to go to? How would it differ from what I do now?
So we start issuing this card on June 20th to all Maryland residents who currently get their cards by mail. We actually issue about 40% of our driver's license and ID cards through the mail today.
Oh, okay.
So for those customers, nothing will change. And then starting July 11th is when the process will change for all customers. And they'll come to the MBA branch office like they normally do, or go online to do their transaction. The only difference is they'll leave with their old license as well as a receipt. They'll keep those two products together and receive their new product within 7 to 10 business days in the mail. Once they receive the new product, we recommend they destroy the old product because it is, a secure card, like a credit card, and you would want to take care with that.
Oh, okay. And will people be able to use it traveling if they have not yet received their new card?
That's right. The information is automatically updated in our system, so law enforcement immediately has access to the fact that they've renewed their product. And we're doing a lot of education, not only with our law enforcement partners, but others like TSA. We've talked to TSA, and they've informed us that they will accept the expired license along with the receipt. So no need to worry if you're going to be traveling.
Okay. And for people who are, just say you want the new card, maybe it's not time where your card has expired. Can you still get it?
Yes, after June 20th, you could go online and you can get a duplicate driver's license. Costs a fee of $20, but if you want to get the new, more secure product, you're welcome to do so at that time.
That sounds great. Now, where else outside of Maryland are these new cards offered?
So we actually have the most secure card in the country here in terms of the security features that we've embedded in the card. In terms of the process of mailing cards, there are about 30 other states that are already doing that process, and many of them are surrounding states. So customers throughout the country are used to this different process, and Maryland residents, again, 40% of them are already getting them that way today.
Okay. And your slogan for this, Maryland Protected, Maryland Proud?
That's right. We're very proud, obviously, of all of our Maryland symbols on here with the crab and the State House and the Oriole bird. And we're also proud to be protecting all of our customers' identity. We know that identity theft is a significant crime in the U.S. right now. Motor Vehicle Administration has a significant amount of that information, and we want to protect that for the customer.
That's awesome. And I understand that there's going to be a special designation for veterans. Can you tell us about that?
Right on the front of the license, it will indicate veteran on there. And so this is something we've worked with the veteran community on. It was very important to them. And so, again, we're so grateful for their service and proud to be able to show that on the front of the license.
That's awesome. So there's a lot to look forward to. In June, we'll bring the new cards.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Coming up next, a phone app to assist drivers in refraining from drinking and driving. Stay with us. A number of people are unfortunately killed on Maryland roads and highways each year due to drunk driving. These deaths are certainly preventable, as drivers don't have to drink and drive. There is a recently developed smartphone app available to assist drivers with information related to drinking. It's called the ENDUI app. And MTA IT Chief of Client Services, Susan Shaw Blake, an active member of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, joins us with more on the app. Welcome to Commuter Connections, Susan.
Thank you.
So tell me, how long have you been a member of MAD, and what got you involved?
It's been over 20 years. This November will be 24 years that my father was killed in a drunk driving crash. Just coming home from work about 8:30 at night, a full-size pickup truck crossed the center line and hit his Toyota Corolla. Oh, wow. And I was told right away there was a pair of teachers on the scene and one left to help him. They said pretty quickly the police were there, the fire department was there. He had come to and he wanted to get out of the car, but they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of his vehicle. Then they took him on the helicopter to shock trauma. He was in shock trauma for 6 days, and due to the severity of his injuries, he passed 10 minutes to midnight, and that year midnight was Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
So he was buried a day before his 61st birthday.
Wow. So this is something very important and true to your heart.
Yep. And I became involved in MAD because probably the first couple of months I went to monthly MAD support groups where there were other people that had lost family members.
Tell me a little bit about MAD and its mission.
MAD's mission is basically to end drunk driving, and now it's also to fight drug driving. and they support the victims like they have with myself, you know, with the monthly support group meetings. And then they're also trying to deter the underage drinking.
Right. So how big of a problem is the drinking and driving? And I guess there's a lot of even just distracted driving going on now.
Right, and even our friends from Maryland Highway Safety are the ones that had that NDUI app developed. And they were talking to me, and they told me over a year ago that distracted driving has surpassed drunk driving.
So tell me a little bit about what the ENDUI app, what is it, how did it come about, and where can someone find it if they're interested in you know, having it installed on their smartphones?
Maryland Highway Safety had this developed, and they announced, I guess it was 2 years ago in December. And you can get it for free, download it from either Google Play or the App Store. You put it on your phone and it works with your contacts because you can designate who is going to be your designated driver. So you can select a couple people. And you can either text them a message like, I need a safe ride home, or call them. And the biggest thing is for it to work is to plan ahead, because you want to make sure your designated driver's not at the movies. They're not in Ocean City when you're saying like, hey, I need a safe ride home. And it has features where you can tell it your sex, your weight, how many drinks you've had, and it will give you an estimate of like what your blood alcohol level is. You know, MAD is not against drinking, just drinking and driving. So if you're not going to have a designated driver or call a cab or Uber or something like that, use public transportation, because this feature will let you do that. You can say public transportation, you can say whether you're in Baltimore or Washington, and it will pull up the MTA or the Washington website, so you can look at the buses, the metro, the light rail.
But like you said, a lot of it is just planning ahead and
Right. And the best thing is, a lot of times people will choose their designated driver as the person that had the least. Instead of, no, it's got to be the person that had nothing, because you are too important and your friends to be under any type of influence. You want to get them home safely. And it all ties in with the MTA mission statement of providing safe, efficient, reliable transportation. One of the things I'll tell, like when I speak to people in high school, as well as court-ordered offenders, I'll say, you know, take 5 seconds to think before you act. 5 seconds to think, can my actions possibly harm myself or somebody else? And if you do that, and you're like think about others, not just yourself. You know,
and you have to, because the life you save may be your own.
Right.
But again, too, if you're in an accident, you know, you could be threatening and putting someone else's life in danger as well. So have the designated driver, have a means of getting home. There's lots of transit out there. Just be safe. Susan, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and telling us about this. This is really good and important information. Thank you for joining us. We've come to the end of another Commuter Connections program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Take care.